Okay, bonjour and welcome to your lesson about bags. Bags, adjectives. Bags are a certain type of adjectives, and you'll find out why they're called that, that actually go before the noun. So remember that most adjectives, here we have a few that I'll circle for you. Vert, violet, et rapide. Most adjectives go after the noun. So in English we would say a green pencil, but here in French we say a pencil green, un crayon vert. Une trousse violet, des voitures rapides. So the adjective is modifying the noun is placed after the noun. The adjectives that are on your current set of vocabulary are all in a category of adjectives that we refer to as bags adjectives. Bags stands for beauty, age, goodness, and size. Okay? So bags adjectives are all adjectives that have to do with either beauty, age, goodness, or size. And these adjectives are going to go before the noun. Before we get into what that looks like, let's just take a moment to see how we change these adjectives that are in their masculine base forms into feminine forms. So, for our first column here on the left, we have grand, and we add an E to make it feminine, grande. Now the D is pronounced. Same thing, petit becomes petite, mauvais becomes mauvaise, jolie, the sound doesn't change, but the spelling does. Jolie, jolie, and meilleur, meilleur. Again, the sound doesn't change, only the spelling. Now in the second column, right here, we have these adjectives change a little bit differently. Instead of just adding an E, first we need to double the last consonant. So in bon, the word for good, we double the last consonant, N, and then we add our E. Bon becomes bun, okay? Gentil becomes gentille. Here we have that double L, and so it's actually going to make a Y sound. Gentil, gentille. And then our last one here already ends in an E, so it does not change. Jeune, jeune, same for masculine or feminine. And then if we want to make any of these plural, all we do is add an S. There are 3 adjectives on your list that are irregular adjectives. They don't become feminine and plural in typical ways. So if we take a look at our first column here, we have masculine singular. Okay, so we have beau, vieux, and nouveau. In the second column, this is masculine plural. Okay. Beau, you add an X to make it plural. Vieux doesn't change. It already ends in X, so it's the same in the masculine singular and the masculine plural forms. And then nouveau, the sound doesn't change, but you add an X to make it plural. The next column are our feminine singular forms. These, you'll note, are very different from the masculine forms, okay? Beau becomes belle, vieux becomes vieille. Okay, break that down a little bit. The pronunciation can be difficult. Vieille, vieille. Okay. Nouveau becomes nouvelle. To make the feminine plural, Those ones are easy. All you do is add an S. Here are the feminine plural. Now, this last column is where it gets a little tricky. Okay? These last words are for masculine nouns, okay, that start with a vowel. I'm going to put that down at the bottom. With a vowel. Okay? So, for example, a handsome man. The word for man is Remember, H's are silent, so it's like a vowel sound. So if you want to say a handsome man, remember that it goes before. We have un bel homme. Okay? We want to make that nice liaison instead of un beau homme. That creates a glottal stop. We don't want to do that. Instead, we're going to choose belle because the next word starts with a vowel sound. So we say un bel homme. So let's try a few. We have il est professeur. He's a teacher. Okay. Now we want to modify professeur. We want to say something else about him. We want to say maybe that he's an old teacher. Okay. So we're going to use the word for old, vieux. Okay. So we've added in vieux. Note what happened. Look at this. In our first sentence, there was no article. There was no a. Il est professeur. Once we changed it, once we modified teacher, once we said an old teacher now, okay, we added old. Now we have to add the un, or in some cases the une if the word is feminine. Okay, and we have our adjective before the noun. Okay, here we have elle est infirmière. She is a nurse. We want to say something more about her. We want to say not only is she a nurse, but she's a good nurse. Now here's the masculine form of bon. The masculine form of the word for good. Okay, so I'm going to add in the sentence as it should be, but you should pause the video now and try to think, how is this going to look? Okay, so we did a few things here. The first thing that we did is that we made our masculine adjective feminine. We doubled the last consonant and we added an E. Okay, we did this because we're talking about a woman. The other thing that we did is because we modified, okay, we're talking about what kind of nurse she is, we added the une back in, okay? So we have elle est une bonne infirmière. All right, think about how you would change this sentence. We are starting with tu es avocat, you are a lawyer, and now we want to say you're a new lawyer, nouveau. You are a new lawyer. All right, this one was the trickiest by far. Even though we don't know precisely who we're talking to because it's just tu, we do know that we're speaking to a man because we have the masculine form of avocat, okay? If it were feminine, there would be an E at the end. So we know that we need to use the masculine form of nouveau. But here's the trick. Avocat starts with a vowel, right? Avocat starts with a vowel. So we have to use that special form of nouveau, the masculine singular form for words starting with a vowel. So we have nouvelle. So our whole sentence is tu es un nouvel avocat. Okay, bonne chance and have a wonderful evening.